निश्चित रूपमा यो राम्रो कुरा हो हामीले कहिले पनि भनेको छैनौँ। हामीले
We've never said it was good. When we started a people's revolution, we tried to advance the Nepali people's needs and society's needs in a peaceful way. Everyone knows when we were in parliament, following its processes, we put forward 40 demands so that the problems of Nepalis would be solved in a peaceful way. But when the ruling classes and the feudalists were not ready to solve the problems of Nepalis peacefully, and instead started victimizing our party workers and people who supported us in a brutal and illegitimate fashion, they compelled us and the Nepali people to take up arms. That doesn't mean we are happy about 13,000 people being killed. Certainly we are saddened by it. But the responsibility doesn't lie on us. It lies on a small clique of privileged class who want to keep Nepal as a medieval feudal state. That is our belief, and that, I think, is the truth.
So you think you can conquer Kathmandu militarily?
When we started the People's Revolution and when we first attacked the feudal elements' royal army, we believed that we would conquer Kathmandu militarily. But later, when countries like the US, the UK and India started supporting the royal army militarily against our people's war and the revolt of Nepali people, that has posed some difficulties. That is why we believe that in today's world, it's not possible only to move forward militarily. Today's reality is to move forward both politically and militarily, with a balance of the two.
So you're saying that in today's world, you don't think it would be possible to take over the capital city militarily?
I wouldn't like to put it that way. It is possible. But in today's situation, it would cause a lot of harm to the Nepali people. That's why we like the political solution better, and we are working towards it.
Well, this is in fact your main political demand, an elected assembly to draw up a new constitution. Now, if that elected assembly drew up a constitution that kept Nepal as a kingdom with a king, would you be happy?
We have said that there should be a democratic republic in Nepal. Our struggle is for that. But we have also said that people should be harmed to the minimum extent possible. And if the problem is solved in a peaceful and democratic way, we are ready for it. And that's why we have called for a constituent assembly. We believe that with the election of a constituent assembly, a democratic republic will be formed in Nepal.
We will accept the people's verdict, whatever decision people will give, we will be ready to accept this.
Does that mean that you would theoretically be able to accept a people's verdict of keeping the monarchy?
Yeah, theoretically it is like that. But we believe that people will not give that kinds of verdict in current situation.
Does that mean that you could envisage you or someone from your party actually serving as a Prime Minister under King Gyanendra?
If such a situation arises, if you ask me personally, I'm not ready. But personal choice is not the main thing. The main thing is following what the people's verdict is.
Do you believe in the multi-party system, or would you actually like your party to be the one party ruling Nepal at some point in the future?
In the agreement that we recently made with the political parties, we have clearly stated that we agree to multi-party competition. People think that our commitment to the multi-party competition is purely a tactic and that we are trying to cheat someone. But in reality, we have taken the experience of an entire century, discussed it, analyzed it in our party, and we've come to a conclusion that the development of democracy is necessary in the 21st century. That's why we take multi-party competition very seriously. We want to move forward.
Democracy को develop करना जरूरी है कैसे शताब्दी में?
Would you yourself like to be the head of state of this country? Do you want to be that kind of leader?
It depends on this political movement and how the events proceed. Our movement is not for me to be the head of state. This movement is to grant democratic rights to Nepali people and secure a better future for them. It's not for me to be a head of state. If this movement goes on, and if the situation arises, then if need be, and if necessary for the Nepali people, I am of course ready for it. But I also want to clarify that from the lessons of the 20th century communist states, we want to move to a new plane in terms of leadership, where one person doesn't remain the party leader or the head of state.
I want to ask you about India. It has its own Maoists in rural areas. They're called the Naxalites. Are you working with them, supporting them?
We do not have a working relation with the Maoists in India. Since they are communists and we are communists, we have an ideological relationship. But movement and revolution is not about export and import. So what they want to do in India is their own business. Globally, the suppressed classes should get their rights, and that's what we want. But in practical terms, we do not believe that one country's army should go to the other country and fight for it. Ideologically, we do want there to be a revolution in the USA, and even in your UK, and that the working classes should rule. That does not mean that once we conquer Nepal, we will go and spread revolution in other countries. But we will certainly give ideological support. We are part of a global revolution, but we do not believe that revolution is something to be exported.
In this conflict, your side, the Maoists, have killed more children than the other side. Your bombs kill and maim children. Not only that, you've recruited very young children. Most records suggest children under 12. Isn't this something to be ashamed of, the treatment of children?
We do not have a policy of recruiting children. We do not even train children below 16 years old as militia. Accidentally, children have been killed, and we are saddened by that. But the situation does not match the account that the ruling classes and the feudals have propagated. Children whose parents have been killed in the war, taking care of them is the responsibility of the party. That's why we are compelled to take care of, educate, and provide work for hundreds of children, even those who are 10, 12, 15 years old. This is a compulsion born out of the war. This compulsion has been falsely portrayed by the feudal elements as forced recruitment of children. As for children who have been accidentally killed, we are deeply sad about it. We are trying our very best to ensure that such accidents do not happen. We are doing our best, and this is the truth.
But it's well known, anyone who's seen the Maoist army knows that there are certainly children under 16 there. That is the case, isn't it?
Village militias, it might be true, but not in the People's Liberation Army.
Where do you think Nepal will be in 5 years' time?
I believe that it will be a republic state in less than 5 years. I believe that in a short while Nepal will be a democratic republic. People's resistance exists. With the unity that has developed between the 7 political parties, us and civic society, and the way that the autocratic monarchy and the royal army have been cornered, very shortly Nepal will become a republic.
Where will the king be?
He will be crushed at the...
The king, I think, will either be executed by the people's court or he might be exiled. For the king, today's Nepal has no future. We don't see a future for him, and the Nepali people don't either. The king might be finished or he might flee.
A few minutes ago, you said to me that theoretically it would be possible to keep the monarchy. Now you're saying the likely future for the king is exile, or that he might even be killed, and there's no possibility of compromise. If you talk in those completely absolutist terms, how are you going to reach any agreement with the powers that are here in the country at the moment?
What I'm trying to say is that the king has taken steps that do not give any room for compromise. It would be correct to say that the path that he has taken is the road to hell. If he has chosen the path of no compromise, there is no way that we are going to see a compromise. Theoretically, as I've said, there was a possibility, but that has now turned into hypothesis. What I mean is, the agenda that the king is moving with, he is negating the possibility of compromise. In the second stage, I was saying that the king himself has finished this possibility and has taken the path to hell. He is not trying to give the rights to people or even the parliamentary party. And in such a situation, there is no question of seeing a point of compromise with him.